Alright, this is the final video. Okay, we're gonna wrap up everything in these two videos. Okay, so this is trigonometric ratios part 5. This is the last videos involving sine or cosine. Okay, so this is where we left off last time. We had this problem. Let's say I have another type of example. Okay, so let's say you are designing an elevator. Okay, so we have an elevator. Let's see, our goal is to find out the horizontal length of this escalator. Okay, so we want to find the horizontal length of this escalator. If we know that this escalator climbs up and this length is 90 feet long, this is 90 feet long, and we know that the angle of elevation as it transports people up is 47 degrees, our goal is to solve for this unknown length x. Okay, so what we would do from here is we want to try to solve for x. So there's a couple ways that you could do this. Okay, you could go ahead and try to do sine of 47 equals the opposite side divided by 90, and then solve for this side and use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for x if you wanted to. You could even, what I see is you could go 90 minus 47 equals 43. If you're so fixed on the sine realm, use sine of 43 equals x divided by 90 to solve for x. But since this problem involved sine, let's try to use the cosine. Okay, so what I see is the side that is next to the 47 degree angle, or adjacent to this 47 degree angle, is this side here. Okay, this would be the hypotenuse, or the longest side of the right triangle. So cosine of 47 degrees equals the side that is adjacent or next to the 47 degree angle, which is x, divided by the hypotenuse of the right triangle, which is 90. Okay, so from here what I see is I need to find the cosine of 47 degrees. So if I look for the cosine of 47 degrees, it's actually here. So this is cosine 47 degrees. I'm looking at this number here. So cosine of 47 degrees is 0.6820. 0.6820 equals x divided by 90. If you're not very comfortable with your math skills, you cannot, if for some reason you cannot multiply 90 by both sides, cancel out to 90 to solve for x, just put it over 1. Okay, put over 1, then cross multiply, and this would be 90 multiplied by 0.6820 equals 1 times x, which is x. From here, just simplify. So this would be 90 times 0.6820. So that means the length of the horizontal length this spans is going to be about 61.38 feet. Okay. All right. Okay. I have one more problem I want to show you. One more problem, and then you're free to try out all the problems you want with this. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. Okay, let's say we're doing an experiment. Okay, let's say that let's use someone as an example. I will figure that out soon. Okay, let's say this person is holding a string. We'll say Ezron. Why not Ezron? Okay. Alright, so anyway, you're going to be holding a string. I'll draw the string later. Ezron is on the first floor. Okay, so imagine that this is the first floor of a building. Okay, then this right here on top is the second floor. This is the second floor of A building. Okay? Ezron has a string. He put a piece of tape on the string here originally and is holding it such that he holds it like this. He knows his string is 20 feet long. Okay? The angle of elevation between the string and where he's holding it is going to be 40 degrees. Okay? So, what we don't know, let's say we want to find two things. Okay? What if we wanted to find how tall it is from the first to the second floor, and let's say we wanted to also know how far he is away from A building to begin with. Okay, this is a little tricky. This is assuming he's on flat ground. I know A building is on a hill, so imagine Ezron is on flat ground. Okay, assume he's on flat ground. Okay, all right, so this one here, let's say Ezron, you know what, I'm just gonna estimate. I know you're not 6 feet tall, but you know what, let's just say you're 5 feet. Everyone is 5 feet tall. I don't want to deal with the decimals and stuff. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry Ezron, I know you're not 5 feet tall. Okay, anyway, let's say Ezron is 5 feet tall. So what you would do, let's say first we want to find the distance he is from this from A building. So let's call that distance x. How do we solve for x? So one way to think about this, if you had to think this distance here is the same as this distance here. Okay? So one way we could solve for this is we notice that if we have the 40-degree angle, we know a side that is adjacent to the 40-degree angle, and we know the hypotenuse. So in order to solve for the distance that he is away from A building, you could just find the cosine of 40 degrees equals x divided by 20. Okay? So from here, use your table, find the cosine of 40, go all the way down. Cosine of 40, I believe, is 0.766. If you don't believe me, put it in here. Cosine of 40, 0.766. Okay, so that's the one I'm going to use. So 0.7660. That's not a degree. Sorry. Equals x divided by 20. Okay. Now I'm just going to show it the way that I've been showing it without the cross multiplying. Multiply this by 20 on both sides. Cancel out the 20. So here, you solve for x. So x is 20 times 0.7660, which is going to equal 15.32. So that means Ezron is standing 15.32 feet away from A building. Okay. Now the trickier one. Okay. Let's say now we wanted to find the height between the first floor and the second floor. Okay, the height between the first floor and the second floor, we want to solve for h now. Okay, so if we want to do this, okay, what we can do, we know that Ezron, we're assuming that he's 5 feet tall. If we're assuming that he's 5 feet tall, we need to solve for this unknown length. We'll call it y. Okay. So if we call this unknown length y, what we can do here is we need to find this. You could go ahead, use Pythagorean theorem, 20 squared minus 15.32 squared, solve for y. But let's try to do it with using the tangent sine SOHCAHTOA ratios. Okay, so what I see here is that one way to give me a direct solution is the side that is opposite of the 40-degree angle is this side here. Okay, so this is the sine of 40 degrees, is going to equal y divided by 20. Okay? We could do the exact same thing from here. Multiply by 20 on both sides, cancel out the 20s. If you do 20 sine of 40, if you guys like doing it that way, if you want a more exact answer instead of converting it first, we know that y is going to equal 12.8, we'll just say 12.86 feet is equal to y. Okay? So we know that this height here is going to be 12.86 feet. Okay? If we want to find the total height of the building, you got to add Ezron's height, assuming he's 5 feet tall. Okay? So the height of a building, I really don't know if it's really going to be that tall. If it is, then that's amazing, but I don't think it could be. I don't know. But in this hypothetical situation, the height of the building is going to equal 12.86, and then you add Ezron's 5-foot height. Okay, so plus 5. So that means the total height of the building is going to be 17.86 feet. Okay, cool. All right, whew. And that's it. That was a lot. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll be back next week about this. And that's it for this. Next, I'm going to make two very short videos. One is going to be on the Pythagorean theorem, if you completely forgot how to do it. And the other one is simplifying radicals. Simplifying radicals is something we haven't really, in denominators in particular. That's something we haven't really covered, but it's fairly easy. Okay. Anyway, I'll see you in the next two videos. Bye.